Somewhere in a museum in Idaho there is a spiral of teeth, wound tight, like something that fell out of a machine. 117 teeth, in one continuous coil. It is the only part of the animal we have. And for over a century, nobody could agree what part of the animal it was. Not a minor disagreement. Serious scientists put this spiral on the snout, on the back, on the tail, curled deep inside the throat. Every one of those was a published position. So here's the problem. How do you find where a thing belongs on a body, when the body is the one thing you don't have? In 2013, a team put one slab of limestone into a CT scanner. What came out settled the argument and changed what kind of animal this was. But it did not say what most people think it said. So what did it actually show? Start with the object itself, because it is genuinely strange. This is not a jaw full of teeth. It is one tooth structure. Over 100 serrated crowns, all fused to a single root that never stopped growing. New teeth formed at the back. Old teeth were pushed forward, and instead of falling out, they curled inward, into the spiral. That's the part worth sitting with. Sharks shed teeth constantly, that's why shark teeth are everywhere. This animal kept every tooth it ever grew. The spiral is its entire dental history, coiled up and carried around. Only the outer arc was exposed. The rest was buried in cartilage, doing nothing but existing. Which means the spiral is a record. The teeth at the center are the ones it grew as a juvenile, the teeth on the outside are the ones it died with. Read from the middle outward and you are reading the animal's life in order, the one continuous document this creature left behind. Now the argument. In 1886 the first specimen wasn't even read as teeth, it was catalogued as a defensive spine. In 1899 Karpinski recognized it was dental, and reconstructed it curling out from the upper jaw, off the snout, like a scroll. In 1911 he also illustrated it on the dorsal fin. In 1909, Hay suggested the pectoral fin. Or the tail. By 1962 Eaton had it as a matched pair, upper and lower. And in 1966, a Danish researcher named Bendik Samgren put it in the midline of the lower jaw. Hold on to that year. 1966. Because the frustrating part is that the argument couldn't be settled by looking harder. The evidence was inside the rock, and the tools for getting it out destroyed it. Cartilage that has turned to mineral is about as hard as the limestone around it. Put a chisel to that boundary and you don't reveal an edge, you make a new one. Then in 2013, the CT scan. The slab held something almost no Helicoprion fossil holds, calcified cartilage, still inside the rock. The scan pulled the upper jaw, the lower jaw, and a heavy support cartilage apart from the stone without breaking any of it. And that's the actual turning point in this story. Not a new idea about where teeth go. A way of seeing through stone. And it showed the spiral running the entire length of the lower jaw, braced along its side by that support cartilage, which widened exactly where each turn of the coil sat. So the position was settled. But notice what that means, precisely. The paper's own words are that it partly confirms Bendik Samgren's reconstruction. Confirms. Not discovers. The right answer had been on the table since 1966, waiting 47 years for someone to be able to see inside a rock. And while the scan was confirming where the teeth sat, it was quietly saying something bigger about what this animal was. Everyone calls it a shark. It is on the shark side of nothing. The scan revealed how the upper jaw attached to the brain case, two firm articulations, a condition called autodiastole. And that is diagnostic, it marks a group called the euchondrocephalans. Which means the closest living things to Helicoprion are not sharks. They're chimaeras. Ratfish. The pale, big-eyed, slow deep-water fish that most people have never heard of. And this wasn't a surprise conclusion. Earlier work on the teeth alone had already pointed there. The skin just supplied much harder evidence from the skull, not the dentition. But be careful with how far that goes. Closer to chimeras than to sharks is well supported. It was a ratfish is not. In 2024, a major analysis of the whole chimera lineage left Helicoprion's entire order out because most of its relatives are known from nothing but isolated teeth, and the few bodies we have still aren't informative enough to place them. So the honest statement is this: we know which side of the family tree it sits on. We do not know where on that side. Which is a strange thing to be able to say about an animal whose face we can now model in 3 dimensions. If we know the jaw that well, how big was the rest of it? Here the honest answer gets uncomfortable. You will see Helicoprion listed at 12 meters. You will see 80 feet. 80 feet has no support in the literature at all. The published range is roughly 7 to 11 meters. And here is how that number is built. There is no Helicoprion body. Not one. So researchers took smaller relatives that are known from complete skeletons, measured their proportions, and applied them. Head length is about 2.5 to 4 times the spiral's diameter, and total length is about 5 head lengths. Apply that to the largest spiral we have, 56 centimeters across, and you get 7 to 11 meters. Use the shorter head the CT scan actually shows, and you land near 7. But look at what's holding that up. The 5 head lengths rule is borrowed. No Helicoprion skeleton has ever confirmed it applies to Helicoprion. So the size is not a measurement. It is a proportion taken from another animal, applied to a tooth. It is the best anyone can do. It is not the same thing as knowing. And a single body fossil would end the argument tomorrow. 1 preserved trunk, 1 tail, and every number in this section becomes a measurement instead of a ratio. That fossil has not turned up in 140 years of looking. The diet is thinner still. A 2015 biomechanical model of the jaw predicts a staged cut: the front teeth hook and drag, the middle pierce, the back slice and push food toward the throat. Soft bodies would deform and get caught. Hard-shelled prey would slide forward and escape. Which is why it used the spiral to crack open ammonites isn't just unsupported, the model points the other way. Squid-like prey is a reasonable guess, because the Permian seas were full of them. But there are no stomach contents. No bite marks. No prey found with a Helicoprion. It's an inference from what was available, not from what was eaten. So, we have its face in 3 dimensions, and almost nothing else. Why has nothing else followed? Because of what the animal was made of. Helicoprion was a cartilaginous fish. Cartilage doesn't fossilize under normal conditions, it collapses and disappears. The only part of this animal that was properly mineralized was the tooth spiral. So the fossil record didn't preserve a Helicoprion and lose the details. It preserved 1 organ and deleted the animal. That's why museum drawers hold spiral after spiral, and essentially no bodies. And it's why the specimen that finally worked was the freak, a slab where the cartilage happened to calcify and stay put. Which reframes the whole 100-year argument. Those scientists weren't being careless. They were handed a single organ with no body attached and asked where it went. Karpinski's snout scroll was a reasonable answer to an almost impossible question. And it's the same reason we never found a complete megalodon. Same tissue, same disappearance. An entire branch of vertebrate life is preserved mostly as teeth. We even argue about when Helicoprion disappeared. Published ranges don't agree with each other, some ended in the middle of the Permian, some carry it into the Triassic. For most animals that would be a footnote. Here it's just one more thing the record won't tell us. So the thing to take away isn't the spiral. It's that we solved the face of this animal, and it cost a century and a CT scanner, and the animal itself is still missing. Next time, the opposite problem. An animal we have in abundance, whole skeletons, by the hundreds, and a story about why it died that almost everyone still gets wrong. The Irish elk, and the antlers it supposedly couldn't carry.